Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hazeem. I'm holding matric card di SAM 1911054.
Hi, my name is AINA NATASHA binti ADDY SAIFULIZAM. I hold the matric card number di SAM 1911055.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad FARHAT. I'm holding matric card number DFOM 1907-826.
So, today guys, my name is AYMAN SYARAFI bin SAMURI. My matric number is DFOM 1907-856.
So today I will be explaining about aircraft weight. So the aircraft weight is starting from the gravity is the downward force acting on all bodies vertically toward the center of the earth. So the name given to the gravitational force is weight, and for the principle of flight is the total weight of the loaded aircraft. The magnitude of the weight force is determined by the aircraft mass, which means the greater the aircraft mass, the greater the weight force. So the weight force may be considered to act as a single force through the center of gravity, which is CG. The CG is the point of balance, and its position depends upon the mass and position of all the individual parts of the aircraft and the load that is carried. If the aircraft was suspended by a rope attached to its center of gravity, the aircraft would balance. So that is the method that every aircraft need to apply, which is MTO, MLW and MZFW. So the maximum takeoff mass or MTOM, often referred to as maximum takeoff weight, which is MTO, of an aircraft is a value defined by the aircraft manufacturer. E is the maximum mass at which the aircraft is certified for takeoff due to structural or other limits. MTO is usually specified in unit of kilogram or pounds. The mass is a fixed value and does not vary with change in temperature, altitude or runway available. So next is the maximum landing weight. So the maximum landing weight is the MLW, which means the maximum aircraft gross weight due to design or operational limitation at which an aircraft is permitted to land. The MLW is set in order to ensure safe landing. If an aircraft weight too heavy during touchdown, it may suffer structural damage or even break apart upon landing. Aircraft also have a maximum takeoff weight, which is almost always higher than the maximum landing weight, so that an aircraft can weigh less upon landing due to burning fuel during the flight. So and the last is the maximum zero fuel weight, which is MZFW, is the maximum weight allowed before usable fuel and other specified usable engine, which is engine injection fuel and other consumable propulsion engine. So are loaded in defined section of the aircraft as limited by strength and airworthiness requirement. It may include usable fuel in specified tank when carried in the payload. So the addition of usable and consumable item to the zero fuel weight must be in accordance with the applicable government regulation, so that the airplane structure and airworthiness requirement are not exceeded. So that's all from me for the aircraft weight.
Another factor can affect the aircraft performance is aircraft density. Density altitude is normally defined as the project altitude corrected by non-standard temperature variation. Air density affected by the changes of altitude, temperature and humidity. A combination of high elevation is low atmospheric pressure, high temperature and high humidity result in the high density altitude. High density altitude is never a good thing for the aircraft performance. An increase in density altitude adversely affected your aircraft performance by increase the takeoff distance, reducing rate of climb, increasing through airspeed on approach, landing and increasing landing roll distance. In addition, high density altitude decrease the engine power horsepower output. In normally aspirated engine power and rate of climb are scientifically diminished. Is normally aspirated aircraft engine will lose 3.5% horsepower for every 1000 foot increase in density altitude. So on takeoff, climbing out of the ground effect is one of challenges, and then the retaining a sufficient climb rate of safely clear is another.
And today I'm going to explain about the runway effect on the takeoff performance. So runway slope affects the rate of aircraft acceleration. So basically a slope is an uneven surface, which is it's like upside down. Yes, basically we can find it on the public road. So The downslope allows the aircraft to accelerate more quickly, but reduce the takeoff distance required. Meanwhile, the upslope reduces the accelerating force and increase the takeoff distance. So the wheel drag will be greater if the runway is infected by slush, puddle of water or snow. So slush, puddle of water and snow can affect the wheel drag, and this will cause the accelerating force decreasing and takeoff distance required increase. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So today I'm gonna talk about wind, or the wind component that will affect the takeoff and landing for any aircraft at any time. So supposedly from what we know is wind has three, which is tailwind, headwind and also crosswind. So why did we say that these three wind is affecting the aircraft even though at flying or at the takeoff and also landing? From what we know, wind component is more to lift and also drag or either thrust. So from what I say is lift, thrust and drag is forces that act on an aeroplane in flight, which is we need them if we want to fly any aircraft so that the aircraft can fly normally. And also, okay, I will explain to you for like four phases of the aircraft. So firstly is wake, which is the force on the aircraft directed downwards towards the earth. And secondly is lift, the opposing force that needed to overcome wake, which is the majority of lift is generated by the aircraft wings utilizing the forward motion of the aircraft through the air. And thirdly is drag. Drag, for what we know, is the resistance faced when the aircraft move through the air. And lastly is thrust, which is the propulsion required to overcome the drag. And also thrust is created traditionally by propeller or turbine propulsion system. So like I just said before, right, there is a headwind. So headwind is wind blowing directly towards the aircraft or either towards the front of the aircraft. And also headwind increases drag for aircraft to fly. And next is the tailwind. And a tailwind is wind blowing directly towards the rear of the aircraft. And also tailwind assists the aircraft propulsion system. From what we know as propulsion system is thrust, right? So lastly is crosswind, which is winds blowing on any other directions than a headwind or tailwind. So that's all from me. Thank you.